Welcome to the best damn arm wrestling show ever. Your guest Mika here, Sakvarelidze, and of course the two hosts of the day, Reza and Scott. Let's go.
Let's go. So how you doing, Mika?
I'm doing good, man. How are you guys doing?
Good. Like you said, it's been hot out, so we're kind of all enduring
Yeah,
the heat while Reza is enjoying Arizona cool weather.
Hey, I'm
Which
up in the
exactly.
mountains, so that makes a big difference. Up in the mountains at 5,000 elevation, so I'm in
Yeah, of
78
course.
degrees, monsoons, nice
I'm
tropical weather.
jealous. I'm jealous. I'm out here in the heat 12 hours a day teaching tennis to kids in 110-degree weather.
right? Yeah. So hey, tell us how'd you get into the sport?
Well, I saw Pulling John. I was at home watching Netflix and I was scrolling through the stuff and I saw this Pulling John thing and I was like, what is this? I clicked on it and then I was like hooked instantly and I had no idea arm wrestling was such a sport, world competitions, this and that. So I was intrigued. I was playing tennis at the time. I'm playing tennis my whole life, but I couldn't compete anymore because I had injuries. But those injuries didn't prevent me from doing arm wrestling. It was specific to tennis. So then I tried it, dude. I googled the nearest like gym. I called some gyms. I didn't get lucky at first, and then I found Devin Larrett video. He was at Mendy's gym, which is not too far from my house. I called Mendelson, Scott Mendelson, over at Mendy's gym, and he told me, yeah, we do arm wrestling on Tuesdays. I came over, and the rest is history, bro. I've been in love with the sport since, and it's been an amazing journey, and I've discovered so many good friends and basically like a small family of arm wrestling crew. So it's been fantastic. And of course, tennis helped because I came into the sport decent level. Like I was good amateur already, because of the hand sport that I was playing all my life. So that helped to keep me even more interested and more excited about it. But yeah, that's how it all went down. And I was starting like 2000, I think 18 or 19, I believe it was. So it's been about 5 years or so now. Starting to come into it, guys. I'm starting to actually, consider myself high end amateur. You know what I'm saying? I need
Yeah.
5 more years, and then I'll maybe say I'm like,
Well,
entry level pro.
hopefully by then you'll be able to make a living at it, right?
Oh
That's
my
great.
God! In 5 years, who knows what arm wrestling will look like? It's exciting. It's exciting. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I think it's getting better. It's heading towards that direction, at least in from what I've seen lately. So that's pretty exciting, guys.
How
Right?
long has it been since you have been arm wrestling? What year did you start?
Yeah. So I started. I think it was like 19. The UAL was my first tournament. So I went to Mendy's gym. I arm wrestled for the first time, and then the next weekend was the tournament. And I said, okay, I'll just try doing amateurs. And then that's when I started. So I think it was 19, Scott. When I don't know if you remember, but I think it was like, I believe it was 2019. Yeah,
Yeah, I
when I
think it
first
was
started.
2019. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then UAL, of course, my first tournament. How awesome was that? I was at the LA Fit Expo. You got Bill Collins, Chris Collins. One of the best tournaments, and I met a bunch of people there. And yeah, and then I stayed and I watched the pros, and it was just fascinating to me. And it was a crazy story because when I first came, I was shitting my pants. Excuse my French. You could break your arm, this and that, but I really wanted to try it, and I actually found some decent success on the first tournament. So I was just like, what the hell is going on? I think in the first tournament I actually made it to the amateur finals, and I lost to this guy. He was a really strong Mexican guy, and then just got hooked crazy. And I remember Vazgen Segoyan, our coach at Mendy's Gym, was yelling at me the next day. He's like, "You weren't supposed to sign up. You were supposed to watch." I was like, "Oh, my bad." Yeah, he's been yelling at me ever since. So that's the story there.
Yeah, well, I'm just the opposite. I'm like enter every tournament you can and get
Yeah,
that experience because that's half the
yeah,
battle is getting up there and
of
performing and not
course.
choking, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. And dude, like even in my team, my crew, I tell people like, let's compete, let's compete. They're like, yeah, but I know I'm not the best. I know I'm not gonna be win the tournament. And I'm like, dude, if we waited till we were the best or waited the tournament, how are we gonna get there? And you just need to pull. You need to get there, see how you feel the refs out. You got to feel the environment. And relatively speaking, even though I'm 5 years in, I'm still new in my eyes, because there's a lot of people who have so many super matches, so many tournaments. But yeah, tournament pulling helps a lot. You know, as long as you know how to stay safe, I think that it's great to
Yeah.
arm wrestle as much as you can.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a brutal match or anything, then you can take a couple of weeks off. But otherwise, yeah, I think you should go for it. I agree 100%.
Definitely. You just came off a big match from Arm Wars with
Yeah, I just got my ass kicked. So that was a big one. I got Frode Hogland lefty, and yeah, it was interesting. I didn't think Frodo would go for the top roll. And here's the funny part. I've been, mostly my look, everybody knows I'm a right-handed arm wrestler. That's my main arm, that's my main ace, but it got injured. I tore my UCL for like the last 3 years, so I've been arm wrestling mostly left. And I've been hooking a lot left, to try to get my hook, but I've hooked so much that I just don't have a strong top roll, that as strong top roll on my left. So when Frodo started when I went into it with Frode and and he started top rolling me and I lost my hand, it was a rough match for me for sure. And he's like, is really strong, but he also has, I think, does Frode have like the most super matches ever? Like
Well,
one of the
I know Neil was saying that, but yeah, I mean, he definitely has a lot. I think
he's up there in terms of
Lewis might have.
experience. Yeah, he's up there in terms of experience for sure.
Yeah, he's very good. Very
But
smart.
I honestly, going into this, when Neil offered it to me, I knew this was a very difficult match for me. I knew that he was the heavy favorite. But it's good to test yourself and see where you're at. And I also knew that Frode came into it healthy, which is another big thing that people don't realize. Like Frode doesn't talk much, and sometimes he loses these matches with guys that are really good, obviously, but he's not the same. He's not the same prime Frode. And even now he's not the prime Frode, but he's healthier because he got the stem cells. He had a lot of injuries, so I knew it coming in. It would have been even harder for me. Because I talked to him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I actually feel really good right now." And he had really great matches there. So
Now you were
yeah,
intentionally lifting that elbow when you got caught off the hit, right?
yeah. So the first round, I didn't think they would call that. I guess it was just way too obvious. When I lost the first round, it was just way too obvious. Like I was just like, oh man, I'm out of position already. Like he's gonna already start bleeding me out. This is a freaking terrible position. Let me restart. And then I fouled, definitely intentionally. I definitely like for sure. And then ref is like, foul, intentional professional foul, and I lost the round. I was like, fuck. And I was honestly not on my game that day. I just wasn't clear minded. I didn't know how to adjust properly. I think looking back, maybe it would have made small amount of difference, maybe not. But I just didn't defend. I was attacking and losing my hand, and I shouldn't have done that with him. I should have fought. I think I do it in round 3. Yeah, you can see me like hitting there and just hitting a wall and just cracking my own hand, and that's never good. And then of course I go into my kings, but Frode is very versatile. He can press through the kings, and he did.
There
And then
were
I believe,
there were a few points though at the beginning of your hit where you did get him about 2 inches from that pad, and maybe if you would have transferred with your shoulder behind it right
yeah,
after the hit, you may have been able to close the door earlier in that match, preventing him from being able to regain position.
I agree. There was a couple of moments there, but again, I'm just, a lack of execution, lack of experience. Um, but yeah, the first round was very close actually. The speed was in my advantage. The power off the go was mine, but once he gets into these static pulls with him with the straps, it's a whole different ball game. It's just a whole different ball game.
He's really good. A lot of endurance. He's always been able to be in long matches. And
Yeah, a lot of endurance, very good strap puller. I think there's one round, I believe, I don't know if it's the fourth or third, I can't remember, but where I actually defend on my side, I top roll, I focus on cracking his fingers a little bit, and you can see when he pressed, like I think I was right there.
right there.
He pressed and he cracked his own wrist, and then I attack again a little too soon, and then he slides his elbow forward and takes the top. That was probably the closest round of me taking perhaps the advantage in terms of the hand and going from there. And guys, you guys know this more than I do. Even if you take Frodo's hand, he's in the match. So it's not like that would have gone my way right away, but at least it would have been a different match, right? At least it would have been a little bit more
Yeah, if you
under
could have
control.
bleeded
So I
his
think,
wrist early on, you definitely would have had a higher
yeah,
probability.
like exactly, Reza. Like you see this round right here, I think this is the one where I'm defending and he hits right here, and there's his wrist a little bit. It just goes a little bit there. He comes back.
Yeah, you're in good position
Yeah, that
there. You
yeah,
just
that one was
you
decent.
didn't stand tall enough. You kept your
No, I didn't.
shoulder too low to be able to really get
Yeah,
any leverage on going up on his
yeah.
hand to take control.
Well, it
And
looks
then
like he definitely he gets a good position right about here.
yeah. This is when he took it over. When he slid his elbow up and he dipped down a little bit,
He,
he got a little bit higher than my hand and he
he
Yeah,
just
cracked it
yeah,
right there.
posted up and got hand control through height.
Yeah, which is what I'm supposed to be doing.
yes.
Well, you have such a long lever. I'm amazed that you didn't utilize
Yeah,
it more in that match. You know, it's
I
definitely
agree.
something you should be using to your advantage. You know, and
Yeah, yeah.
especially
That certified my mistake that I'll probably never make that mistake again.
Well, you need
Yeah,
to
because
stop trying to do the so-called King's move. You know what I mean? That's desperation there.
well,
major desperation, major. But
me and
it's like the only thing I have left at that point.
me and Scott were talking about this, and I was saying it's more than likely because you lose the ability to contain your isolation through your bicep lock. So then you end up going into that
Yeah,
King's move and trying to gain access to more rotation, obviously.
exactly, exactly.
Also because you're losing that bicep lock, but also because you're
Yeah,
hoping that you can get out of a bad position.
yeah.
But did you
The
injure
other
yourself
thing
in
is,
that moment right there, or was there an injury that occurred here, or were you
no, it's just that I had
fatigued?
like couple of I think 4 weeks from this match, I entered the UAL tournament and um I got to the semis I think, and Dallas pressed through my kings and it burst my bursa sac. You know, like it's like right in your elbow, and when he pressed right there, it kind of reignited that injury a bit, but
Again,
nothing like too serious.
you're using the leverage of your arm to like a 2x4, which is not safe for anybody
Yeah,
to do, period.
yeah, of
You're
course.
asking for injuries. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
for
gotta
sure.
go.
And the thing is like with one of the things with the Kings too is that with a lot of guys, because this is a what 7 rounds best out of seven. When you do the Kings move, if at least if you're used to it or if you're good at it and you're not injured, you do have the ability. This is the benefit of the Kings move. You do have the ability to, even if you lose a few rounds, it does gas people's
Fatigue your
arms and
opponent.
wrists. Where now third round you can change it, you can press, you can start to do other moves if it's close enough. And that's happened in the past before, where somebody's been stronger, you go into the Kings, they kind of burn out, and maybe after second or third round you make a huge comeback.
That's what my
That's one of the benefits of the Kings move. But of course, you're right. Yeah, obviously, the Kings move is not to be taken lightly. It's not a good. It's not something I look forward to doing ever. It's just something that just happens naturally because I just don't want to give up the match, and there's just literally nothing else I got for him. So I'd rather just do it rather than just like lose 6-0 without fighting. Because I've had some success with it where it's like, okay, I'm losing pretty hard and then I come back, right? I start like two big matches like that I've won, because those guys just have really good center, really good side, and I just couldn't beat them right off the go, you know. And it's just they have such good side pressure, but they crack their own hand. They, like kind of like Todd Hutchings a little bit, but obviously, not as elite. And you Kings move it, and you just can't, and just good counter to that, like those guys with crazy side. Um, as long as but I do it to the point where it's not safe because I mean the guy's pressing on my arm and I'm still trying to hold up. You know what I mean? Like at that point,
Yeah,
yeah.
but hypothetically, if you are utilizing the King's move, you're not going to finish with the King's move. You're obviously going to transition
You
into
never would finish with the Kings, or you can't.
exactly,
Yeah, you have to transition no matter what from there. So it's
exactly.
it's definitely not a finishing move, but
Yeah.
it gives you the
It's more
opportunity
of a
perhaps.
blocking opportunity to kind of recap and identify where you need to go and maybe potentially fatigue your opponent in the
Yeah,
moment. But obviously, a lot of people look down on it because they see it as a tactic that kind of goes around the
yeah,
rule. But in
yeah, and it
essence,
looks
you're
ugly and
utilizing every tactic to your advantage. And
hundred
if you
percent,
we're
hundred
pulling
percent.
probably somebody else other than Frode who has a substantial amount of power endurance,
Yeah,
trained probably a lot with Nicholas Nanestad back in the day, who is just
exactly.
crazy lever,
Yeah,
and it's one of those things where you gave him one hell of a fight, bro. I mean, I gotta give
thank
you
you,
that, like I
thank you.
can't
Yeah,
give him a fight like that.
Yeah, that's at least I did that. I didn't want to. I don't want to ever go, especially when you fly over there, and you're just like, dude, there's no way. Like you're gonna have to like break me at this point, which you did. So I'm happy
Anything
about that part because I did give it everything I had. I didn't have anything else. The only thing I'm not happy with my performance is, of course, we talk about the mistakes in the technical adjustments. I believe that I should have made better. I should have used my leverage more, like Scott, you were saying, 100%. But listen, man, I gotta learn, right? I mean, you live and you learn. It's
Yeah.
it's
what's the
it's it's a
what's
good
the
match for
game
me.
what's your game plan coming up? You got any tournaments or super matches
So
or events you're looking forward to?
yeah, so right now my main most biggest concern, or I guess focus, is just healing my right arm. I'm just I've been waiting to compete with it for so long, and I just keep it's just delaying and delaying. My left will always be for fun. I have nothing going on. I don't want to do anything right now. I'm healing. I'm concentrating. I'm like hibernating in my cave. I'm gonna do some real training. I just got another stem cells for my right, so hopefully that's the last one. If it's not, then I'm probably just gonna go with surgery at this point. But hopefully it's the last one. It feels pretty good. It's definitely at 100%, but it feels like it's like 90% there.
What's occurring to
And
your
my
arm?
biggest,
Is it at the elbow? Is it in the wrist? Is
yeah,
it
it's
the
it's the
bicep
it's
or
the right, yeah, it's the right UCL, right in that elbow UCL area. Um,
inward
and then the
rotation?
biggest one,
And
it's like I tore it. I tore it like
okay.
60% off. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, so
60%. It's
you
like
may have to go through the same surgery procedure as Devin.
I may. And I talked to Brad Grundy, and he told me he did the same thing, and they have this new operation for it now. It's really quick and simple. 3 months he was pulling, and 6 months he was 100%. So I'm kind of hopeful that if it does come to it, that it won't be, it'll be pretty
Be
simple.
nice
And
if you get like a telescopic procedure where they just go in with the, minor
yeah,
incision, really nice, within a few
yeah,
weeks you're back at it, do some light
yeah,
rehab and build back up from there,
yeah.
if worst case scenario occurs.
And honestly, Reza, like the thing is, the reason why it's been plaguing me for a long time. It's like 3 years now, is because of tennis. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what I do for a living. I can't always not do it. So it just keeps the injury going,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but I'm really focused on not playing it. I've hired a lot of people to help me, and I'm investing my money really in time to really get it going towards back to 100%. And then I want to pull it December in the North American Invitational, the big one,
Yeah,
the
that's in
two.
Tennessee. I'm doing that one as well.
Awesome, Scott. So yeah, so that's a big one. I'm really excited for that. So I'm hoping that my UCL is going to go, in the next month or two, so I can really train up for that one, because that's a big one. That's a
The
badass.
the way that is, that's a 32-man class max. So they're having 32 guys for a nationals invitational only. And it's $100 buy-in. And it's first place, it's $1,200, right? I think.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, and
something
then
like
it's
that.
placing down to like 8th place with money.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's beast mode arm wrestling. Oh, we lost him.
He'll be back.
How much time we got left?
10 minutes, Bubba.
10?
Yeah.
Oh, bad. Okay.
Yeah, 10
Let's
minutes.
see if it pops back in. What happened? His phone died?
It's all good. Worst comes to worst, I can edit it, chop
Right.
out this little moment here. And
Yeah, so it's a 32-man class, all the weight classes, basically, women's as well. And he's getting everybody to buy in for $100. So it's a nationals with payouts. But again, you're buying in for $100. So but he's got them all the classes are maxed out. So there's 32 people already paid that are going
well,
in each class.
so 3,200 each class, 5 classes minimal, approximately 16K
Yeah.
per arm, 32K plus women, another
Yeah.
3 classes probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the
You
women
know, so
won't
he's
have as
probably
big of a
pulling,
panel, but
yeah, but he's probably pulling in about 40K with the
yeah.
women, 32 plus another 8 for the women,
Yeah.
which is a nice little draw. And then he'll put a little chunk in some people's pocket and a nice chunk in his.
Yeah. I mean, I from what he says, he's not making any money. They're breaking even, but I know they're drawing some sponsors in from, because they're in Tennessee. So they're drawing some local sponsors in. So it's working out for them, it's a good thing. At least I mean, we've had round robins. He's put on the last, the last few round robins. One of them was right there in Arizona at Tim Talmadge's tournament. You saw that. All right, here he comes. Got
Oh
Mika.
shit.
There you
Yo,
are.
yeah, sorry about that. My phone died. My bad.
That's
It's
what I
all
thought.
good,
Yeah.
Mika. It's all good.
Yeah, so but yeah, that's the next big one. What about you guys?
Are you
So Scott,
skipping? Are you skipping the World Series?
yeah, dude, that's the thing. I can't do it. I can't do anything yet. That's the problem. I love that. That's like another big one that I want to do. That's super cool.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's doing it where if you enter, you qualify.
Okay.
So
But
if
the
you
thing is, I think it's mostly right arm on that
no,
in
it's
that
right and
turn.
left. There's payouts in
But
both right
but
and left.
prize money wise and
Prize,
anything rewarding
prize
wise,
money,
it's right, I think, right?
prize money. No, prize money's 2,500 each arm.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Well,
the potential 5 grand.
You
that
just inspired
that's
him.
probably the biggest payout in that's like the biggest paying out in
It
USA right
is.
now.
It is. I mean, unfortunately, his weight classes still kind of aren't the best. The weight classes, 175. It's
Little different.
176 and under, and then what, 205, and then it jumps to like 225 or
What's your
Yeah.
natural walk around weight, Mika?
Right now I'm at 203.
And then you drop to 195 or you drop it lower?
Yeah, 198 or I pull 205. Yeah. So I can do anything from like 190 to 210. Basically that's my range.
Where do you feel strongest?
Like 200, like
200. So there's
205.
not the
Yeah, like
minimal drop,
198.
minimal
I
drop.
think
Yeah.
198 I'm very dangerous. Yeah.
When you
Like
pulled Frode,
198.
what was the weight on that?
Frode, what was Frode? I don't even know what he was. He was definitely lighter than me.
yeah, I don't
Probably
think
like
he,
185 to 190. I was thinking probably in that
Probably
range.
185. But you know what? I thought, like when you meet him, he's thick. Doesn't look that big on camera. But his arms, man, it's crazy.
All of his weight's up top, bro. That's just
Yeah, dude.
you
Like
get into
his
these
arm.
veterans, bro. They got twigs for legs and canisters for arms, bro.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Yeah, literally. Yeah. That's what he looks like. He's just like his arm. Once he puts it on the table, it's just like ouch. Yeah. But
yeah. First time I met him was in 2012 in Brazil at the WAF World Championships. And
wow.
yeah, it's funny because
I think I
Patrick
met him the
Berg was
year after.
there. All these guys were just like barely 18, 21
Yeah.
years olds.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Frode was like 19 when he pulled in armors the first time. Can you imagine?
yeah.
That's crazy. And no, just pulling him was such a crazy trip for me. I was like, I'm like pinching myself, man. I was like, I'm pulling Frode Holling. What are you talking about?
So what is it like? I mean, you go over there to Armoires. Are you guys all staying in the same house? How does that work?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude. So that's like probably my favorite part about armors. So essentially, they get either it's a house or two. They usually have like one house for the production, one house for just staying. And this time, it's different every time. It's different every time. This one, we had a bunch of tiny little houses in this middle of nowhere, beautiful countryside. Um, what was the place called? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was super, super beautiful. It was in the middle of nowhere. But it was like all countryside.
Nice.
It's like farms and beautiful scenery. And then the main house has the production room set up and like the big living room, whatever, and then they decorate it. It's just the vibe, and it's like crazy because it's got all the arm wrestlers. There's no like spectators, there's no fans or anything like that. It's just pure arm wrestlers, and we usually root for the guy who's losing. So there's literally no loyalty at all. Just shit on we just shit on people who are winning. We're like, shut up.
Underdog.
So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Also, yeah, and it's just like everybody from different places, right? You got Lithuania, you got like Sweden was there, you have America, you have like Canada. It's just crazy. So
Right.
it's
So
like
so
a bunch of.
who would be your favorite polar? Do you have a favorite polar?
I think Mindog is from very early on because he has a low hand. So he has like a low hand top roll, and I love doing that. So him, I mean, I love watching Devin obviously pull, but in terms of like, yeah, I always enjoy Mindaugas' matches.
I
But
like
I
the
love watching a lot of people. But yeah, he's probably one of my favorites.
I like him just for the fact that he's not really a guy that tries to cheat or
Yeah,
manipulate. You know what I mean? He's a straight
he's
up arm
very,
wrestler.
yeah, he's straight up and he's strong as shit. He's strong as shit, man. I felt him. He's different.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very strong. Yeah, he's crazy. His lock and his static locks in the strap are insane. Did you guys watch that match with Corey Miller? Did you watch that one?
Him and Corey Miller?
Dude, him and Corey pulled this last Arm Wars right now, the one that just came out. You guys have to watch that. Because listen, Corey came in different. Corey came in big, strong, healthy.
Yeah.
This was a good Corey. Very strong Corey. And you'll see like round one. I don't want to give it away if you guys want to watch it, but I don't know. You guys tell me. You want me to talk about it or you want to?
Did it just come out or something?
Yeah, it came out like a few days ago.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's on the Arm Wars channel.
Okay.
I think my match with Frode was first. I think that's public. That's free. And then if you're a member of the Arm Wars channel, it's like $5 or $6 or whatever it is, and then you get to see all of the matches that happen. And Corey Miller faced Mindy. That was the match. That was like the main card.
Wow.
Or that was the main match from the main card.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know the arm wrestling.
We had Tim Talmadge there. We had there's a bunch of cool people like arm wrestling.
Now, have you pulled Corey in the last few years?
I've never pulled Corey.
Even just a side pull, like
no,
to see his hand.
One, not even a side pull. And this is one of the things that sucks about. There's one thing that sucks about Arm Wars. You get wrecked so hard you can't do any after pulling.
Yeah,
I mean, because the whole point was me going to be like, oh my god, I get to arm wrestle all these freaking cool people, right? Nope. You're. I mean, unless you have a good match, like an easy match, then yeah, but that's rare.
Well, also your right arm's technically injured, so then that TKOs that, and then you're pulling left-handed, so it puts you.
Imagine after the Frode match, Reza, who the hell am I gonna after pull?
Exactly. Everybody you can if your arm's good, but again, after that match,
I was destroyed, bro. My arm was done, bro. My arm was done like round 2. No, but yeah, no, Corey, I've never pulled. One time, a really long time ago, I asked him for advice. I can't remember where it was. Maybe Vegas. I think it was Vegas, and I was talking to him. I think I was asking about Dallas. I was pulling Dallas back then, and he told me something, and I just gripped up to them a little bit, and I felt like his hand and stuff. Yeah. These smaller guys